pinnacle of human perfection.
Welcome to Unbiased and On the Fence. I'm Shane. Thank you so much for joining. It is the power of 8 at 8.
Hey, everybody.
We've got Eileen here.
Hi, guys.
How did everything go for you this past week?
Well, it was absolutely wonderful. I went to Colorado. I went to Denver and Boulder, and I got to catch up with family, which is like the most important part. And then my sister and I went to the 3-day conference in Estes Park with David Wilcock, doing, I think, 17 hours called the Ascension Portal. So he said it's the first time he's gathered together 5 years of research to kind of examine how the whole world is ascending and how we're ascending.
I love that. We're all ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to name this. So the meditation is actually going to be about the Ascension Portal, right?
Yeah, I thought following on last week's meditation that you did was so good. I got to join in on Saturday night quite late. And that was the disclosure meditation. I thought we could take that a step further and do an ascension meditation and getting help from our cosmic brothers and sisters, as long as they're here to help us, they're positive, and we're somehow related to them.
I had a sneeze come on. Sorry about that.
Bless you. Bless you.
It went away. It was a tease sneeze.
It was a tease sneeze. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah,
I missed you guys. I really did.
Well, we
I
missed you too. Yeah, we definitely missed you. So nice
while I was out there, thank you. It's good to be back. While I was out there, we went to a store called Metaforms, where I can't remember their last name, and I don't have their card with me. I should go dig it up, but it's probably still in my suitcase. Greg and Gail have been running a sacred geometry store in Lyons, Colorado, right near Boulder, on the way to Estes Park, for 33 years. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of the sacred geometry tools that they've made, like this one, which has all the sacred geometric shapes inside of it. If you can see it, it's got the circle, the square, the rectangle, the Fibonacci sequence, which you said is also called what? The golden ratio?
Right, yeah.
The 5-pointed star. So, and I also picked up for our meditations here, Metatron's cube. How cool is that?
Oh,
Look at
wow. That is
Look
cool.
at that. Look at, I can see the Merkaba now from that side. There's like so many ways to look at it. Believe it or not, this one is gold plated. It's like electroplated, which doesn't cost very much, but you can also get them in bronze. So underneath it is bronze. Metatron's cube. So I love sacred geometry. Oh, I bought these little earrings too, and they're just little Merkabas.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that cool?
That's so awesome.
I know. And the only difference between these don't spin. The only difference between the male and the female Merkaba is one spins one way and one spins the other. So we create that polarity again, that energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you. See if I can get it back in.
Yeah, they spin opposite of each other or something. Well, they always spin opposite, but then the male and the female spin opposite of each other too, right?
Well, doesn't it make sense? We're in a dualistic world, and so the male energy is going one way and the female energy is going the other. Here's a sacred geometry necklace. It has things inside of it. I don't know if you can see the sacred geometry on it because it's moving. There we go. You'll recognize this, Shane, because it's in your logo. There. Do you see that, Vesica Pisces?
Oh, yeah.
Looks like a little football.
Yeah, I love it.
There's lots of sacred geometry on there, gemstones. They have sacred sites on their land, so they power up the metal, they power up the stones. They put inside of it, it's like a little computer. What's that called? What do you put in a computer to make it think?
The processor. Oh, it's
Yeah.
the silicon processor.
Yeah. So it doesn't have energy. The energy it gets is from your heart and your mind and the earth. But inside is like a motherboard. And it has no electricity, so you're not getting any negative electricity. And if you wear it with the Vesica Pisces on your chest, it grounds you. And if you wear it with all the other geometrical forms on your chest, it lifts your energy up so that you connect. You connect with kind of like your own higher self.
Kate is asking if they have a website because she would like to order something like that.
And what I'm going to do is I put it on my phone. I'm going to give you guys the address. We'll put it in the link. And then Shane, would you like to have them on live?
That would be awesome. Yeah.
And they're just going to like show you how all the sacred geometry works with the body and with meditating.
That would be super.
I kind of volunteered you. I'm like, you need to go on Shane's show and show them how this works.
I mean, you got Lynne McTaggart on. I think it's going to be in October or something. So
yeah,
it's going to be pre-recorded. But yeah, you made that happen. So I appreciate that.
Well, thank you, Laura. If Laura's listening, her assistant actually got back to us. Wasn't that awesome? I said, thank you. Contact Shane for a date. And she told me, yeah, we're booked.
It's going to be super early, but I want to know if you can join us for the recording of it, but it will be at like 8 in the morning.
Oh, I would love to.
But it's far enough out that you can schedule it, I believe, because it's like October. Yeah. I'm going to say October 8th or 9th. It's the day after the holiday, which is on a Monday. So it's a Tuesday. I think it's October 9th.
Is that Columbus like 2 to 3? Yeah.
It's the day after Columbus Day.
It's on a Tuesday then, isn't it? Because Columbus Day is always on a Monday.
Yeah, but it's going to be 2 p.m. for afternoon for them in British Standard Time. So that works out to be like 8 in the morning. So you're probably up then anyway, but I'm going to be like, oh, man,
I'm up at 8.
To bed.
I used to be up at 8 when I had to do the school run. I used to be up at 7. Okay, so the address is 138 East Main Street, Lyons, Lyons, Colorado.
Street Lyons.
And it's called Metaforms. Here we go. Can you see that or not? No.
Metaforms.
Is any of this coming up?
Is there an address? Yeah, it's showing up.
Is it showing up backwards?
Oh, I spelled Lions wrong, guys. Sorry. It's
L-Y-O-N-S. With an I. Is it showing up correctly on your screen, guys?
Yeah.
Or is it backwards?
Yeah, it's not backwards for us.
Okay, so where's the phone number? There it is.
Okay.
They got a super cool website. These people are so amazing. They're like little soulmates. They're like twin flames. They look like each other. They talk like each other. And they produce these amazing sacred geometry pieces to use for healing and meditation. Okay. So now this one's interesting because we should do this when they come on. If you do it counterclockwise, it draws things out of the chakra. And if you do it clockwise, it pushes things into the chakra. And it's based on the intention of the person holding the form, the metaform, and the intention of the person getting the metaform energy. So this is kind of like a chakra cleanser or stimulator.
Can you do it for yourself, though?
I don't know. I'm going to try it on myself. But if not, I'm going to have a volunteer, one of my friends. We're going to have to do each other. They did it to me in the store, and I could feel it.
You could hang it in front of you and do a little dance or something.
Knock my teeth out, right?
That is really cool, though. I'd love to have some stuff like that.
I've never seen a sacred geometry store. I'm like absolutely chuffed, you know? I guess that's an English word. I'm absolutely thrilled. It's like, oh, I'm holding Metatron's cube. So
that
cool.
Is awesome.
Yeah, isn't that cool? So what is Metatron? I know he's an archangel. I know he used to be human. Only 2 archangels were ever human.
I heard that it's Enoch. I just recently found that out. I'm like, Enoch? Really?
Okay.
He was the one that in Genesis got to go. He was taken up and never died. I think he was the first person in the Bible to ever get taken up.
So it's Enoch, the book of Enoch. Whoa, that's some pretty crazy stuff that he writes about.
Yeah, I love the book of Enoch. And you know what's funny is that they don't include it in the Bible, of course, but Jesus refers to, he quotes, people don't know this till they read it, of course, but Jesus actually quotes from it in the New Testament. And Jesus' brother, James, also quotes from the book of Enoch. Yeah. So.
Now, In the Standard Bible, do they believe in James, or is that the Gnostic text believe that he had a twin brother named James?
I don't think they consider him as being a twin.
Okay.
Right.
But they do consider him being alive. They consider he existed, James.
Yeah, like just the biological brother of Mary and Joseph, but, you know, not immaculately, you know. He wasn't like Jesus where Mary just got pregnant, supposedly. That's really not even in all the Gospels, just so people know. But in the ones that's in the Bible, it says that, you know, Mary was a virgin and she got impregnated. So.
Yeah, and that's, yeah. And they also, is it the Gnostic texts that say, or is it something else, like Holy Blood, Holy Grail, that say that Jesus produced the wine and the bread at a wedding? It was his own wedding to Mary Magdalene, who was an apostle, and that they got married, and that she carried the bloodline out of Jerusalem to Egypt and then into Europe to France.
Yeah, that's for sure not in the Bible.
It's not in the Bible.
That's the Gnostic writings there. Yeah. Interesting, though. Yeah, it's interesting that, you know, you got so many people looking for a cup for the Holy Grail. And then they bring that out in the movie, what's his name?
Dan Brown.
Dan Brown's movie, yeah.
They did. And
Da Vinci Code.
The people who wrote Holy Blood, Holy Grail, who are the historians who trace this whole story from Jerusalem to France, they sued him for taking their story, and then they lost, because you cannot copyright a story about Jesus, Mary, or Joseph, or Mary Magdalene. It's in the public domain. So.
Right.
But those are great books. They're very dry, but if you ever want to read a really good book about the historical Jesus and the historical Mary coming out of the Middle East into Egypt and then into France, read Holy Blood, Holy Grail, because that is the Holy Grail, would be Jesus's bloodline, which supposedly is alive today and is part of the Illuminati.
Oh, really? Yeah. I wouldn't doubt if they, you know, hijack that too.
Yeah, they stole everything else, even goats. They've stole our pyramids. They've stolen our goats, you know.
I just take all that stuff back. You know, you've got alternative lifestyle people have sort of hijacked which I don't care, they can do what they want, but the rainbow, they can't steal the rainbow, man.
Oh my God, they can't take the rainbow. No.
I love the rainbow. I'm taking it back. I'm taking back the pyramids, and I'm taking back
the pyramids too. I want triangles. I'm taking back triangles tonight.
So yeah, it's like, you know, you have people say, you know, what are you, Illuminati? I'm like, I'm looking way beyond when they hijacked it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Anything
else, where did they get it from? Yeah. So I was watching more of that Doreen Dotan. Is that her name? And she doesn't seem very she doesn't accept Christians. So she's too anti-Christian for me to watch all her videos, you know. But she does believe that the mystical Jews. I'm going to send you this video to watch, and you tell me if you get the same message out of it that I got. That the mystical Jews, by enacting the Torah and the Talmud through their words, create all of this. That they are the creators of the material world around us. So that would kind of make them like creator gods in a way. But she doesn't call them that.
Right.
But I mean, if you don't have to be one race or one religion to be able to harness the energy of your mind and your heart and your kinetic actions to create matter, it's like, whoops, the cat's out of the bag. We're all doing it now. You know, it doesn't matter what belief you have. We're human. All humans can do this.
Yeah, if I remember right, she was upset about the young Jewish people not being taught the right thing, and they were actually using them learning these and quoting these scriptures for negative or something.
For control. Control of humanity and control of the earth plane, the material plane. So I like watching her stuff because I learn what mystical Jews believe, but I don't believe that it's only for mystical Jews. I believe it's for all of humanity, all of us.
Definitely. Yeah,
and I do like the fact that she brings out the female male. She's trying to bring out the female balance of energy and life and love and creation, whereas she says that's just been removed from the whole act of creating matter around us. It's all male dominated. And you can see that in the Abrahamic religions. You know, they kind of shove the mystical female energy and just shove it aside and say, we don't need that.
Yeah. Somebody was even saying just recently, they were like, some of the disciples or apostles were female, and they've like completely hidden that because of just, you know, the male dominated world back then.
Yeah, I heard Mary Magdalene in the Gnostic text is a female apostle.
Yeah, she even has her own gospel.
Yes, and then the other apostles get jealous and they go, he kisses this apostle differently than he kisses us. Do you remember that? Do you recall that in the Gnostic texts?
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, what's going on between Jesus and Mary Magdalene? Which is fine if they get married and have children and live normal lives, you know, or try to live normal lives.
Yeah, it's like you know, we've had this sort of picture of Jesus placed up by religion, of course, and if it doesn't agree with that, then all of a sudden we're being, you know, sacrilegious or whatever. It's like, what's wrong with him having a wife and enjoying life? And
yeah, the union of a man and a woman and then creating a child. I mean, if that's not God honoring, I don't know what is. You know, that's about as far as you can go to honor God, by creating your own family.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a problem with really any of that. I think once you realize it's all about the message and not about all of these things religion has put into what Jesus was, then it's not a problem if he wasn't really, if he was born from Mary and Joseph in the regular way, like some of the Gospels portray it happening, or if he got married and had a family. None of those things really matter when you look at the fact that it was the message that the information he was bringing to us, not sort of the scapegoat theology that we have there, that, you know, he had to have this, you know, he had to be the pure lamb. Of course, getting married, of course, how can you be pure if you're married, right? The way our wives.
Ooh, that's kind of sad.
No,
because you're describing a sacrificial lamb. He was pure, he was virginal, and then they sacrificed him. You know, that's too much Old Testament, isn't it? Where with all that sacrifice for God.
Yeah. But I think he became that to bring an end to all of that, but people just sort of turned it into that was his whole purpose for coming, you know, is to become the all-time sacrificial lamb. And you just say a little prayer that says that, and you're taken care of. Once in grace, always in grace. That's the end of it. And that sort of takes the focus off of his life and puts it on his death.
And his messages, his beautiful messages, were very unity. It was unity consciousness. It was definitely seeing the other person as you, and you as the other person, and to treat that person as you would be treated.
Yeah,
you know,
golden rule.
Not as you are being treated. It's not like do unto others as they are doing unto you.
Right.
You're right. Yeah.
Exactly. And if we play by the golden rule, think of how beautiful everything would be. You know,
I think we're going to get there. I think as good people in the general population discover their own personal power over their own lives and over the matter around us, we'll just kind of outshine the negatives and the Illuminati, the cabal, with our own love and our own energy. We just, like, they'll become diminished in power as our power for love, unification, cooperation, compassion, forgiveness, as that grows, they're really going to struggle to be heard, to be seen, to be. I mean, I don't even take them seriously anymore. I mean, if somebody says something that was on the news, I'll be like, really? Let me check that out, because I don't give them any credibility anymore, to tell the truth.
Oh yeah. In fact, whatever they're sort of pushing, I have to think, oh, I must have to take a second look at that, because if they're pushing it, it must be the opposite of what they're saying. So
I do that too.
Yeah.
We have to be careful, because they know that. They're really smart. And they'll say, hey, these truthers, these people who believe in truth and look for truth, think that everything we say it's the exact opposite. So now we'll tell them the truth, and they'll think we're lying, and then they'll think the opposite is true. So we got to kind of watch how we play that one.
Yeah, I think once we reach that point where just the general population realizes, because we're not there yet. I mean, most people, you go into a store and you just ask someone that's like in the know, like they watch the news, so to speak. they're not really awake to the whole truth of everything. So, you know, you'll ask them, they'll just tell you what the news is saying. So I don't think we've reached a point where like the majority of people sort of realize that, you know, we need to be suspect of whatever they're saying and pushing and looking at things ourselves.
I think you're right. We haven't reached a majority, but if you check out the 100th monkey syndrome, don't you need like slightly, Lynne McTaggart knows these figures from all of her research. I think you need slightly over 7% of the population to believe or do something for the whole population to pick up on it and do it and believe it as well. So if we only need 7% of us to influence the entirety of humanity, I would say we're pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely could be close. That's encouraging.
It is. It is. I don't know how that works though, but Lynne's going to be able to answer a lot of those questions. I know she's a big believer in the human shared energy, the shared consciousness, or she wouldn't have been doing all these intention experiments or written this fabulous book, which we have right here, The Power of 8.
Yes, link is in the description, and it doesn't look backwards to us if it does for you.
It does, yeah. Cool. So the David Wilcox conference, before we do the meditation, it was kind of cool, but I started watching him in 2012. I had to catch up on like 3 years of wisdom teachings. They were available on Gaia TV, which is now Gaia, but he's leaving Gaia. There's some internet controversy over him thinking that the new owners of Gaia are Luciferians, are the Cabal. So he's leaving, but there's no proof of that. Like he hasn't come out and said that resignation letter was truly his, but he is leaving. He is leaving Gaia. So he didn't mention anything untoward to his predecessor, Gaia, except he did mention that they started to censor his programs, that there were certain things they didn't want him saying. So he's breaking out, and I think he's going to start his own platform because he's big now into disclosure, right, with Corey Good and some other guy, I forgot his name, some other guy who's very militaristic, supposedly in the secret space program. Well, I really appreciate
Everett something. Everett, yes. Can't remember.
He showed up on the last day.
Did he blink when he was there?
Why doesn't he blink? Doesn't he blink when he talks?
He doesn't blink very much, and it always makes me wonder. I'm like, why isn't he blinking very much? He just sort of stares and talks and stuff. You know, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying. You know, somebody left a message. I don't know, a comment. They were like, you know, you guys blinked 42 times in a second. Anything over. Or in a minute, they were like, anything over 17 a minute means you're a reptilian or something. I just put laugh out loud. What are you going to put? What are you know? I went like, did
you and me?
Me and somebody. I can't even remember. It might have been Michelle. I can't remember. I didn't take it seriously enough to even remember. I just put laugh out loud and left it. I mean,
I got the fan going above me. It's like blowing in my eyes. I got these lights on that I normally don't have on, but you can't see me if I don't put them on. So I don't know. Now you're going to make me count my blinks.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, I just laughed. I left it up there. I didn't even get rid of it. I'm like, oh, other people will get a good laugh out of this. Oh my God. I did go look at the video. I'm like, was I blinking that much? I went and looked, and you know,
I'm going to go and count your blinks now when I get off.
Look for my eye to warp into a reptilian eyeball or something.
Yeah, I'd rather blink than not blink, because if you're not blinking, it looks like MK Ultra, like somebody's gotten a hold of your mind, or maybe drugs or something, you know?
Right. That's why I wasn't too hard on Everett. Maybe he just didn't want to blink or something. Who knows?
I don't know, but I got to tell you, I was a little disappointed and not disappointed at the same time, because I really appreciate the old David Wilcock, who was all about sacred geometry and Argonite and the Mayan ascension prophecies, the Vedic Hindu ascension prophecies, you know, the 26,000 year galactic cycle for our solar system to go through all the signs. It's like 26,000 years. I just found that stuff
precession of the equinox.
Yeah, precession of the equinox. But now he has a manager who was a DJ who's was best friends with the Jackson 5, and he's Christian, which is fine. right? Because we're open to all religions. You know, when you do reach this level of understanding and love, you can't really discount anybody based on religion. But David has removed some of the more interesting Vedic Hindu ascension information completely from his talks. And he's trying to kind of push the Christianity and the Islam to match the Mayan calendar. And it doesn't quite fit yet. I feel like he's trying to find things in the Quran and the Bible about a solar kill shot, right? There's others who believe in that. Kind of being the flash that resets the earth. And then at that point, most of the life would be killed on the earth. And those who he believes in the law of one, Ra, those who are 51% good will ascend to fourth density, which is kind of 5D Earth, the way they describe it.
Emery? Emery, yeah. Not Everett. Did I mess it up? Okay.
Is it Emery?
It might be Emery Smith or something like that.
Well, he showed up, but I couldn't see. He was wearing a baseball cap, so I couldn't see his eyes, whether he was blinking or not.
Chris P says, Shane does blink a lot, though. Maybe he's the one that left. Did you leave that comment, Chris? You think I'm a...
Chris, was it you? So anyway, he kind of rambled about stuff. I don't want to be disrespectful, but when he came on to talk, it didn't make a lot of sense. But I was sitting in the back and I was tired. We'd just done 17 hours. So we skedaddled, stage left when he came on. We left. But yeah, so it felt like the old David Wilcock felt excited and enthusiastic and like he was giving you his version of Ascension. And this new one, he's still enthusiastic. He's still lovely. He's a lovely, lovely person who, when you meet him, he feels genuine, like he genuinely wants to share this information. But he seemed to be more packaged into a more acceptable package of the Abrahamic religions. And out with the Vedic, out with the Hindu, you know.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? So I'm glad I went. You know, he basically confirmed everything that we ever talk about on your channel. When we talk about the Schumann resonance spiking, the scattered magnetic shield, the planets are all getting hotter and more luminous. So he thinks that there's good evidence based on science. He pulled up the science that the solar system is moving through a galactic cloud of high electromagnetic activity. Well, that sounds like the photon belt to me, but the photon belt is Vedic. It's Hindu, isn't it? It's Hindu ascension theory that okay, so like here's the galaxy, and then around the galaxy is a photon belt. So that as the solar system moves 6,500 years, it goes through ascension, higher consciousness, and awakening, because we're in the electromagnetic photon belt, and then it goes back into a sleep period of consciousness until it reaches the 26,000 mark. Then it's in the other side of that photon belt, and then we start getting the Mandela effect, higher consciousness, ringing in the ears, planets getting really bright. Like I saw Mars. I've been watching Mars. It looks like a star. It's shining that bright now.
Yeah, I actually got it's starting to get further away now, but we reached that point where it was at its closest on the 31st. Yep. And I was going to release some video today of that. I just haven't finished editing and getting it all together.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I actually got some footage of that. That's pretty cool. I'm really posting it more for just documenting it and having it online because I was able to capture some shots of it. But it is, I guess, boring if you're not, because it's not like,
I don't know.
It's not like a NASA shot of it where you can see all the,
Yeah, but nobody believes NASA.
Right.
Anything NASA puts out, we're like, yeah.
That's CGI.
It's fake. It's what does NASA stand for?
Never a straight answer.
Yeah, never a straight answer.
Totally, yeah.
So do you see the planets getting brighter? I was looking at Jupiter, I was looking at Saturn, because they're all on one side now. 6 of them were in retrograde, which is crazy. That's a lot. And they were all on one side of the sun. So they were highly visible in the night sky, and they just look like stars. They're so close and they're so bright.
Yeah, for like another 6 weeks, we'll be all on the same half of the sun. Venus, that was probably the first one I noticed, because a couple of years ago, or at least a year ago, you would see it in the night sky before the sun had even gone down. You'd be like, what's that bright star right there? And Venus was never bright enough to see it when the sun hadn't quite gone down all the way. When it had just gone down, you could see it, and it was super bright. And then at night, it was like eye-catching bright. You'd almost feel like it was an airplane coming towards you. It was so bright.
It's so close. It's like a star that you can reach out and touch. It's like, whoa, that's really big. And then you realize it's not moving. And then I have a sky map on my phone. You like shake it and it like calibrates. And then you look up, you're like, yeah, that's definitely Venus.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I use a lot too.
He also talked about, people, he said, why am I alive? If I'm giving the secrets of ascension, why would the cabal let me live? And he said, good people can't be killed. So my sister and I we're like, that doesn't sound entirely plausible, because I know good people are, not safe just because they're good, And then he said, he goes, I know I'm going because I'm 51% good. And I don't know about this 51% rule either. I think it's hard to put a number on it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it would be like a culmination too of, your life's work. Like basically when you come into the world and then you leave, did you leave it a better place than you found it? And I think that's sort of where that 51% comes in, because if you were 49, then you left it a little bit worse than you found it, right?
I guess.
And if you were 51, then you actually left it a better place than you found it. So
see, that's where I find some of his theories a little naive and a little childish, a little bit immature, because I don't think we can put numbers on ascension. I think we know when we've reached the ability to love and forgive. It's like something goes on in your life and in your heart, and you realize that you can love more and you can forgive more than you ever could before. And I don't know, for me, it was the Course in Miracles that I did, which really kind of helped me with that. What was it for you that really brought you on this path?
I would say probably the work of not only the Law of One, which it sounds like he's taking it from there, but also the
I'm sorry, A Course in Miracles. Mine was A Course in Miracles, because the Law of One didn't have enough of the unity Jesus messages of loving your neighbor, loving humanity, treating that, mine was A Course in Miracles rather than
I feel like where the Law of One really explains it as service to self or service to others. I don't feel like, of course you have to take care of yourself or whatever, but I feel like it's intention. If you intend to be like a good person and love people and be forgiving, even if you make mistakes, it's like your overall intention that you're trying to be a good person, right? So, I mean, that goes directly against Christianity, because it doesn't matter how good you want to be or how good you actually are. If you don't say this prayer and accept Jesus as your personal savior, you don't get to go, you're left behind. It doesn't matter how many hungry people you fed. It doesn't matter how good you were. You could be Mother Teresa, but if you didn't say that prayer, sorry, you're not included,
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to say about David Wilcock too, is once you put all the laws and the parameters and you put it in a box and you package it up with a bow and you go, here you go, guys. If you do everything I say, you too will ascend. I'm like, no, that's not how this works. It's between you and God, you and your higher self, your spirit, your soul.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't package it and that's what organized religion does. It packages
that's the exact problem.
Spirituality up for us. Yeah.
Right. But I think that can be helpful sometimes. I think religion can be a great stepping stone, even with the same material. Some people see it as like, we're starting a cult or a religion, but I see it as a stepping stone, like training wheels, so to speak. I don't think a lot of people need to go through the steps because they've already really went through it. But if you wanted a step-by-step formula to begin to work on yourself, then sure, making amends with other people that you've wronged and doing this and that and sort of taking those 12 steps and switching them up a little bit as a way to act in life can set you on the right path. But it still isn't like, it sounds like this religion that, well, you got to, follow not the 10 Commandments now. Now it's the 12 steps you got to do. And now it's just more of a guide to assist people that are like, where do I go from here? Well, if, these are some 12 suggestions. If you want help with, you can start making amends with people.
Like tools, like Ascension tools that you use. Yeah, see, I still like David Wilcock, but I think we've all this is going to sound terrible. I feel like in this community here, we've outgrown that. We don't need those beginner steps anymore for Ascension. We know all about that. We know about the Mayan calendar. We know about, the earth changing its vibration. So we're ready to move on from there. And I think he's still teaching that stuff. I think he's teaching the stuff that we needed to know back in 2012 when the Mandela effect started to speed up for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but I think religion still has a stranglehold on a lot of people, and they sort of need that sort of deconstructed in a way to break free, to really move beyond all of that, because I think it really limits you. I was just reading Magenta Pixie's book, and it was like talking about the questions should never go away. They should always be there. If you're sort of feeling burdened by having all these unanswered questions, then you should maybe take a break from it until you get reinvigorated. But you always want those questions, because that creates this forward momentum. And I was like, wow, this is really good.
That's a good philosophy.
Yeah, so you don't ever want to know all the answers. Right.
Yeah. Well, gosh, we're not going to get all the answers here on Earth, that's for sure, because I mean, that's my opinion. I don't know. Maybe the next step, I bet we don't get all the answers there either. I'll bet every step we take as we evolve into higher and higher consciousness and higher states of being, there's more to discover, learn that remains unanswered.
Totally. Yeah.
Until we're like one with God, because a lot of the religions and a lot of the newer belief systems always say that we're working our way back to God. It's like God sneezed at you, and he sent us all out as these droplets in the universe. And then we forgot who we were. We forgot where we were. And now we have to find our way back. But you can't get back until you ascend up and up and up and up that like ladder of consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're all ready for that next step. We're ready to leave duality, the struggles of duality, for kind of a more cooperative, compassionate life form, and a more cooperative and compassionate community of life forms working together, Yeah, I think we're ready for that.
I totally agree. Yeah, and I think it's collecting experience and taking it back. So we're supposed to, and I think of the prodigal son in the Bible a lot, because I used to think of that as, this guy went out, squandered away everything, became so broke that he had to hang his head low and come back home to his father, who still welcomed him back with loving arms. But I view that so much differently now, because think of how much he grew during that time of going out and experiencing and making all those mistakes. He wouldn't have been the person he was when he returned if he hadn't have gone out. If he just stayed there on the farm and, just tended the farm and did nothing, what experience would he have had? It would have been the same.
How much would he have grown? Yeah.
Right. That's
and
part
I wonder if in 5D Earth, we still are going to be making mistakes. Since we learned so much from our mistakes, are we still going to make mistakes in 5D? I think so. I mean, if it's perfection, then we're dead. We're in heaven. Or we're not dead, but we're done. We're done being reincarnated. We're done learning. If the place we go to is perfection, that's it. You've graduated. Done. No more lives. Right. So I don't see 5D Earth as, the concept of fourth density 5D as heaven. I think it's still a place to learn and grow and make some mistakes, maybe.
Totally.
Maybe not such costly ones, because the ones that really upset us are the ones that are out of our control. They're the ones that are in the control of the humans who run the banks, the corporations, the schools, the media. Those are the ones that bother us because we can't see how to stop them. We feel powerless to stop them. So that's what I think is going to be absent in the next stage of the evolution of our humanity, our human species. I think we'll have more control. Like we'll be able to control those things so that we can learn from them.
Yeah, and create. I think that's really in our future as creators, and then we're going to realize, I could have created that better. Was Earth one of those? Like, I think I could have done that a little bit better.
I don't know, because if you believe like the Hindus, I think, believe that we evolved from the planet, and we started out as amoeba and bacteria and viruses, and then we grouped together into these little communities of multi-cells, and we became salamanders and insects and lizards and mammals, and then our consciousness grew and grew and grew, and we learned more and more and more, and we evolved to the state that we are now. If you think we really came from a single cell amoeba, that's quite an accomplishment, you
Very
know?
true. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a big deal. So I'm proud of us.
Definitely proud of our fractal creator, or however we got here. I think it's been a blast, and it's only going to get better.
Yeah, I'm loving it. The more I work with this community that we've got of really wonderful people, the more I'm enjoying life. You know, I'm like, I wake up just thanking God for what I have as I'm waking up. And then during the day, I feel like, you know, this is good. This is a good life, and this is a good place. And, you know, as long as the potential for more love is there, then I don't know that I'm done with this place. You know what I mean? Shane,
Yeah.
if I get the option, go right into 5D or stay and help others who can't quite make that transition, I might stay. I might go, you know, I'm going to stay a little bit longer. There's more people here who are on the verge of being able to make that leap in consciousness to being creators, basically.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad job.
I think a lot of people are going to be that way, because I know there's a lot of people right now that they think that they would choose to leave. They like, no, I'm totally done with this place. I'm out of here. But I was like that a year ago. But I'm with you now. You know, I totally stay. And I
was like that 2 years ago.
I can see how I volunteered to come here now, and because I'm willing to stay longer if they need me, and I can see all this now, and it's almost like that's part of our development. If we haven't quite got there yet, you'll get there. You're like, no, I'll never get there. Yeah, you'll get there. In fact, I feel like we can't leave until we get there. So
I think it's catching on, because I watched Lori, you know, Lori Lothian. I caught one of her videos while I was away on vacation, and she was saying the same thing. She was like, hang on, guys, let's not rush away. This is a beautiful place, you know, that we can still learn a lot from, and we can make this place better. Like, we can lift it up into a 5D version of Earth all by ourselves, you know?
Yeah.
So it seems to be, it seems to be catching on.
Yeah, I just imagine a group of people over trying to lift something, and they're struggling with it, and I'm just standing by like, I'll see you guys later. Have fun with that. You know what I mean? I definitely go over and help, give them a hand, you know? So there's just no way I would just leave. So I already know that.
You know, I've been thinking of that dilemma that we have. What you focus on grows. Therefore, turn away from the bad, never look on it, because you don't want it to grow. On the other hand, then you allow it to grow in your own community by not standing up to it. So David said some interesting things. He said there are 3 possible reactions to evil. He said, 1, you can run away from it out of fear or anger, resentment, whatever.
Creating a trail of loosh behind you.
Yep, you can run away from it for whatever reason. Number 2, you can join it. You can say, oh, so that's how you get the Lamborghini. I get it. 3, you can stand up to it and say, no, I don't accept this. Not for me. So I really was like, wow, I never really thought of it. There are only 3 options. You either join it, you run away from it, or you stand up to it. And I feel there has to be a way for people want to focus on the positive and grow the positive and grow love and grow forgiveness, to actually stand up to that and say, no, no more, but not get emotionally drawn into it. Oh, that makes me so mad. Oh, that makes me so sad. There must be a way to face it and say, no, I do not consent, but without getting sucked into it and giving it more energy.
Yeah.
You know, that's that middle line that I'm searching for.
And that's what you see what happens when people go out and picket. People are so angry, and it's like you can see that they're fueling it. Even though they're opposition to what's going on. I think when those old places were burning in London, I was seeing these people out there so furious to know that the government's trying to get over on them, and you know, they're just really angry and upset about it. But I don't feel like that's the way. I mean, that's still, it seems like you're standing up to it. So what does that look like, standing up to something? is really the question. And I think
that's the question. Is it standing up to it spiritually and saying, I will not participate. I do not accept that. I will not help that. I will not,
I do
I
not
don't know.
consent, as I think.
I do not consent.
Yeah.
Like if it's in your environment and you see two kids fighting and one's a bully and one's being beaten up by a bully, you can step in and separate them. You don't have to go, oh, that's terrible, and run away and say, I will not look at that. So that's a way you can contribute in an active way. But if you see your government doing things, how do you stop that? There must be a spiritual way to say, no, I do not agree with this. These are quandaries. These are dilemmas that I face every day. How much of my energy do I want to put on helping people who don't see their own power to learn about their own power, or say, hey, they'll figure it out in their own time. I'm just going to work on me.
Yeah, it's a big question, because I was recently watching another YouTuber that was talking about all this stuff, and he's like, all of it's a distraction, which I can agree that it can be a distraction, all the things we see. Either side of it, even the good side that seems like this great movement, it could be a distraction as well. But at the same time, he says, we outnumber them like 10 to 1. I'm like, what do you want to do? Are you saying just clobber the White House? What can you do with numbers other than intention? That sounded like he was inciting violence or something. Let's just go take them over. But,
Well, let's just look at history, okay? And all the great revolutions were brought about through violence, because eventually the powers that be pushed the people too far. And once their children started to starve and their families started to die through the greed of the ruling class, that's when the guillotine came out, right? That's when it's no longer prayers, meditation, and we never, ever, ever want to get to that point, because true light workers will never go there. They'll never use violence to stop violence, because they understand that if you throw fire in something, you just build a bigger fire. Throw fire in fire, you get a bigger fire.
But now we understand also the power of our intention, and that it's not that we're just sitting by not doing anything like these groups that we have tonight. This is way more powerful than going and picketing even. You know what I mean?
It is. And I think that this is how we're going to find our individual power. We're going to feel better about where we are. We're going to feel better about our lives, and we're going to feel like we can make a change through meditation and prayer. And I think that's going to I think it's catching on. I think more and more people are starting to go that way.
Mm-hmm.
I do. Your channel is growing. My channel is growing slowly. I put out a couple of videos a month, and I usually just do the meditation videos now on my channel. But, obviously it's working, because look at where your channel was a year ago.
111 people right now. So even this group is.
Ooh, 111.
111.
I like that. That's a really good number. It's one of my favorites. Well, should we start a meditation tonight?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm ready to let you take the reins again. You're such a natural at it. And
so are you. I love that meditation you did last week. So you're going to have to make some more for us. I know you like to record them, and they're very good when they're pre-recorded. They're just as effective, really relaxing. And I could hear the Native American Indian talking to me when you were bringing peace to the fires. And I put that in the comment, and then later you were on a show and you're like, oh yeah, I was looking in the mirror with a candle and I saw this Native American Indian. I'm like, yes, I could hear that. I could hear the great, wise Native American Indian medicine man talking to us.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep, for sure. Okay, guys. So just going on from Shane's meditation last week about disclosure. Oh, we forgot to say that Fox News had Nick Pope on from Ancient Aliens, the English UK Defense Ministry guy. But what's significant is this is the first time mainstream media has interviewed him as if aliens and visitations and all of that is real. Now that's setting off alarm bells in a lot of people who are expecting Project Bluebeam to have the government put on a fake alien event so that we all band together in fear. and give them more of our freedoms and more of our money and more of our power to supposedly fight fake aliens, right? Trump wants us to have a space force now. So,
right. Yeah, I've heard this, that it could all be leading up to this. I can't say the double F word, but you guys know what I mean.
Yeah.
They put on the show and it's not, what it appears to be, right?
It's not real. So I'm going to do the meditation leading on from Shane's, so that when we do have any kind of communication with life off of planet Earth, it's positive and cooperative, and that we, as we ascend, we can actually connect with our brothers and sisters off of Earth. If we have family, if we have cosmic family, that would be really cool. And it's, they say, ask and you shall receive. So there's no reason why, if we're here as starseed and we have cosmic buddies out there, there's no reason why they can't help us to help the whole group, all of humanity, to ascend and help Earth to ascend. And then, of course, we all want to ascend individually. So I'm going to try to throw that together tonight, because I don't script it. So I'm trying to go on from the cosmic ascension that I did with David Wilcock for 3 days, and from Shane's last meditation. We try to join those together.
Perfect. I like that.
Cool. Okay. So I'm just going to find my camera. There we go. I'll take a little bit of water. Okay. So this is great. Back in the saddle of meditation. I love this stuff.
Me too.
Okay, guys. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is just to take a deep breath in and hold it for a little bit, and then exhale 100% of the air. Now get ready to take another slow, deep, relaxing breath in. And this time when you exhale any negativity in your body out. And we're going to do a third breath. Take a slow, deep breath in. Fill up your diaphragm so your tummy goes out a bit. Hold it. And when you exhale all the negativity in and around you. Any sore muscles, any tension, let it all out. And now as we start to breathe at your normal pace, what's most comfortable for you, imagine a silver or a gold cord going down from your root chakra, which is red and spinning. It's at the base of your spine. And imagine that silver or gold cord going through the building, through the ground, through the various different layers of the earth, all the way down to the center of the earth. And when it gets there, let it spread out in all directions, grounding you to the earth like the roots of a tree. And now as you're breathing in at a comfortable pace, imagine that breath coming in through your heart, and imagine it going out through your heart. Breathing in through your heart chakra and exhaling out through your heart. And as you continue to breathe in and out of your heart, imagine a light from source, a light from God, perhaps a light from your higher self, your source, coming in through your heart and going out through your heart. And as that light comes back in through your heart, let it fill up your entire body and exhale it out through your heart. And as that light comes back in through your heart, let it mix with your own light from your heart chakra, and it'll be sending out your love to the world on the out breath. Breathing in, breathing out. So just continue to breathe in and out of your heart chakra, and let that light spread around you. So it's not only in your body, but it surrounds your body like a protective bubble or egg of light. And fill that space around you, around your head, over your head, around your chest, around your back, around your arms, around your middle, around your legs, your feet. Let that light go under your feet. Breathing in through your heart, exhaling out through your heart chakra. Now you are in a safe, comfortable bubble of light, of love light, filled with the light from God and Source, and filled with the light from your own heart. So now you want to imagine a safe place or a beautiful place. It could be a place you've actually been, or it could be a place only in your imagination. And once you sense that you're in a bubble of light, in a calm, beautiful, safe place, think about something that happened in your life where you felt immense joy. It could be a birthday celebration, it could be a family vacation, it could be the birth of a child, it could be your wedding day, it could be a special pet who is bringing you great joy and love. Just think about someone or a day, an event, or a pet who makes you feel so happy that you just can't find words to describe it adequately. And now just rest for a few moments in this beautiful place where you're remembering an absolutely wonderful, loving event. And now we're going to focus our intention, and we're going to focus it on ascension. Each and every one of us knows what ascension is because it's a very personal and it's a very private idea of what we think we want to do or what we need to do in order to ascend to a better place. And that ascension doesn't have to take place in a minute or a week or a month or a year. It doesn't even have to take place in 100 years or 1,000 years, because we know that it is personal to our journey and that our ascension into a more cooperative, compassionate, loving environment is coming now. We can feel it. We can sense it. We sense it through reminders like the Mandela effect. We sense it through our own feeling of when we're with others who maybe say something that upsets us or doesn't really sound right. We no longer get angry. We no longer become fearful or frustrated. We have this inner patience that comes with the knowledge that we are on the right track and we are ascending at exactly the right pace for us as individuals. And coming here now, we may have come here to witness the ascension of a planet, perhaps moving into fourth density or a fifth dimension, another dimension, a higher dimension of higher frequency, love and light and cooperation and compassion and forgiveness. And we may also have come here to help others around us who are just starting their journey, the ascension journey. And this is all new to them because they haven't come in contact with the information that maybe you have for many, many years. And we can help them also feel their own ascension as they find that they are more loving and more forgiving. And we find that because we are ascending and we're on our personal journey of ascension, that when things happen on the global scale, we no longer have to run in fear. We no longer have to hide from it. We never, ever would want to join it. But we can say no. We can say, no, we do not consent, without feeling terrible feelings of fear or anger, which just makes the whole situation grow. Because that we already know that which we focus on grows. So simply by meditating and praying with intention to change the things that we believe would make this whole world a better place for everybody, not just for some, we feel the power of our intention. We feel the power of our personal heart energy. And we know that we can help not only speed our own ascension process through love and forgiveness, but we can help speed humanity's ascension process with our love and our forgiveness and our firm belief that we can say no. So we also want to ask our cosmic brothers and sisters, if you believe that there is life off of planet Earth, and if you believe that maybe you're starseed and you came here to help, then you can ask your cosmic brothers and sisters to help you in your own personal ascension process here on Earth in a very challenging, dualistic environment. And we can ask them to help us as a group, to help humanity ascend by making the right choices as a group every day in our personal lives with our families, our friends, our work colleagues, our neighbors, and also on the global scale. Choosing the healthier foods to feed our body and our families. Choosing the healthier companies in which to give our money for their goods and services. Choosing the healthier media to watch instead of mainstream television with its negativity, sadness, violence. We are empowered as individuals to say, no, that's not for me. So as we sit with the love energy in our heart chakras, just feel gratitude. Just feel gratefulness for being alive, for being here, and for having such an amazing, beautiful planet with the trees and the animals and the rivers, the grass, the sky, the clouds, the sun. Just feel gratitude that this is all here for you and for your ascension process. And when you're ready, just start to move a bit, maybe move your head, stretch your neck, move your hands, get some blood flowing, move your feet, your ankles, your knees. Release your grounding cord into the earth where it vanishes. Here I am. We came back together. Oops, I can't hear you.
All right, sorry, my mic was muted. Forgot.
I started to get choked up and I was like, oh, I can't breathe. I was like, oh, that didn't.
No, it was great.
I wasn't getting emotional. I just literally was feeling like extremely, like I needed a good cough.
Oh. Getting dried out there, maybe, huh?
I think so. I think with the flying, because I just got back last night and going from high altitude to low altitude, Yeah, I kind of feel like we have help, and that if we want to help, we just have to ask for it.
I totally agree. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I think a lot of us are starseed. I think a lot of us came from other places to kind of just maybe speed up the ascension process a little bit here.
Yeah, one of the things in Magenta Pixie's book was talking about that, how people are imagining otherworldly beings coming in and helping us, but it was really in ships, and it was really the star seeds and their Merkabahs, and it was
Oh,
a whole twist on just the whole idea. It's like true, but just not the way people are thinking of it. You know, it's like our higher self in the Merkaba enabling us to come and help, and it's like it's crazy to think our higher
oh, I
self
kind of
would
like
show up
that.
with
Yeah.
the Merkaba, and it's really us. It's like, that's kind of a mind trip to think of it that way. I can't wait to have her on. It's going to be a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
it's going to be like 10, 11 days or something before we have her on. But I'm
That's going to
actually
be great.
hoping
I
I can
hope
get,
she's okay.
yeah, I'm hoping I can get through her book quick enough because there's so much to cover. It's a big book, so.
Wouldn't that be interesting if the life forms in other dimensions and other frequencies are us at different levels of our ascension? If time doesn't exist, and this is one experience, and they are our next experience, and then those who are above them or around them in a higher frequency are them in a later experience of
That's
ascension.
exactly it. That's exactly
Yeah.
how it's explained. And it's like, because she talks to the Council of Nine, the White Wing Council of Nine, I forget what
Yep.
they're called or whatever, but it's like they're part of the Matrix system, but they're the same as everyone else's. It sounds confusing, but it's really whatever perspective you look at it, because at the end, if you can get all the way out of everything and take the perspective of looking at it all, we're all one.
Yes, I'm all about us being one, which is why I named my channel One,
Yeah.
because I feel that we are all one, literally
Yeah.
one life, and I believe that, even the people off the planet, we're one with them as well, and they're one with us, and the animals, we're one with the animals. Wherever there is life in any universe, we're one with all life. But you can take that further because the trees are alive, and even rocks are alive. This is what's interesting, because didn't they define life as moving? There has to be movement. Well, rocks grow, crystals grow. They grow like a millimeter
Everything's
over.
vibrating.
Yeah, everything's vibrating. So they're alive too, but maybe in a different kind of frequency that we can't directly. I think we communicate with them. I think we can tune in with animals, and we can tune in with a tree, and we can tune in with crystals, but it's just a different life
That
than
really made me
human.
think, because you think of things like that as not being conscious, but they have their own consciousness. It's like the first density and second density, according to the law of one, we're the third density, but the
Yep.
second density, which is the plants and animals, have their consciousness, a
Yes.
second density consciousness, and rocks and things that live for millions of years have their consciousness. They live much
Yes.
longer, but they can't move around or whatever, but they're still conscious. And when I was taking the BQH course, some people actually go back to being a rock. I mean, they'll actually go back to a first density object, a tree, or, I mean, it sounds crazy, I know, but that was one of the things they
No,
trained you. If
doesn't.
somebody goes back to being a rock, you can't always assume that they're going to be another person or even an alien or anything else. They could just be afloat. They could be light. They can be a sun. They can be a star. They can be, don't limit to what the person's point of view is. They can be a cell inside the body. So if it's all black, I mean, they really cover so much in that course that I was really blown away, because it was things that I hadn't even thought of. And even if I didn't plan on doing it, it was such an enlightening course just to imagine some of this stuff, because
Sure.
sometimes you don't see things. Sometimes maybe you'll just smell or sense it or know it. Sometimes there's just a knowing that the person will have. So
Yeah,
it's really cool. Oh,
I'm going to do that course.
let's show your pictures really fast, because that was the famous.
Oh my gosh, we forgot about that. You guys have a little more time?
Yeah, they'll definitely want to stick around for these pictures. Let me see which screen I
We
need.
we stayed at the Stanley Hotel, which is where they filmed The Shining, and it's kind of a renowned haunted hotel. And I looked it up, and they said that it was opened officially in 1909. But before that, it was a men's hunting lodge. So there have been buildings there on the Stanley compound since the late 1800s.
Oh, is it not sharing?
I can see it. I can see it down in the corner.
Oh, okay. Okay, so here's the Stanley.
Is it going to pop up on the whole screen?
I think you can click that on your screen in the corner. Like if you click on the little thing, it'll make it big for you.
Oh, does everybody have to do that?
No, it's going to be big for everyone else because I've got it. I'm controlling it, what everyone sees.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I get a slightly different picture. Gotcha. So there's the Stanley. It looks like a very modern building. It's really oldie worldy inside with a lot of original features and fixtures and lights.
And it's really pretty because I remember when we would go to a vacation there, we stayed at the Howard Johnson's, which is, if you go straight out from the front of this, it's a couple of miles away, but being that this is sort of up on the mountain, you could see it from really far away, and it looks so pretty being up on the mountain. Oh, you said The Shining? This is
The Shining was it's based on Stephen King's stay there and some things that happen in room 217, which is like the most haunted room supposedly in the hotel. But then they did some of the filming in England. So they used some of the Stanley for the filming, and they used other sets.
I see.
Yeah, but it's based on the Stanley Hotel. So do you have there we go.
I'll just go through these.
This is the main building, and it's the main staircase. And if you zoom in on the top right, you'll see dripping lights of green and white. Yep. I call them ghosty worms because I'd never seen anything like that before. So this I took with my phone, which is a Samsung Note. And I have 1,000 pictures on there, and none of them have these little ghosty, drippy worms. Yeah. So go over there. They are. Yeah. So my sister said, those are rods. And I'm like, well, what's a rod? In ghost world talk, when you get like the little photon of the little bulb, like the little top of it is a circle, it's actually moving so fast downwards that when I snap a picture, in the time it takes to capture that image, those dots have moved down. You can see how far they got in a second. How long does it take for the camera to snap a picture?
Inside it might be open a little bit longer. The shutter might be open because it's darker, but yeah, it's still just a fraction of a second, maybe a tenth of a second.
Yeah. So in
this
a tenth
is like
of a second,
a traveling orb. I see.
And if you go way over to the right now, go to the end of the picture, you'll see a big one
right
there.
Here.
Yeah. There's 3 of them.
Oh, it's not making it on the screen. Let me scoot this over.
Yeah, it's really hard because it's at the very end there. I can see it.
Okay, yeah. Now let me zoom back in.
And I swear to you, we could not see these with our naked eyes. We were just shooting.
There we go.
There you go. So now, are they identical shapes, Shane, or are they individual? Because I'm wondering if that's one big energy blob moving down, or if it's 3 energy blobs moving down.
This one looks more like a J to me than the other ones. I mean, the other ones do have this tail on the end, but this is definitely longer than the other 2.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like the J part gets a little shorter with each one. Like this is probably the shortest out of all of them.
These are all over my photos. And I put the flash on because the ghost people said, if you want to catch images, just turn your flash on permanent. And the camera will pick up what the naked eye can't. So if you go to the next one on the table, do you have the one on the table? We'll see what comes up.
This is the next one right here.
Now, this is creepy. Okay, I have no orbs or rods, what I call ghosty worms, in this picture. But if you look at the color of the people's faces, they're all kind of peachy except for 2. And the 2, like, because, his is kind of peachy at the bar and way, way back at the bar. It's kind of peachy. And then you get these 2 individuals standing in the middle. And I just thought that was the creepiest photo.
With their eyes?
Yeah, and they're like gray skin.
That is pretty creepy looking.
I know, but who knows? I'm not saying that that's anything. I'm just saying that was creepy. That was a scary photo.
And this is the flash from your camera and the reflection of that door back there, I guess?
It has to be, don't you think?
Okay, probably, yeah. So it could just be that red eye effect on their eyes, but no doubt that like the black all the way around it, that still looks pretty creepy.
Oh, both of them have the black around it. I know. I don't like watching this one. So when you're done with it, I'm going to delete it.
That is a pretty place. So this is like the lounge in the hotel?
Yeah, that's Cascades. The bar. And I think the bar was a very famous scene.
Cascades, looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, now this
so there's my sister, and she did give me permission to put her up there. Hi, Leslie. She listens every Saturday night. But
I had already pixelated her face.
You already pixelated her face in case we didn't get permission. So down in the right corner by her knee in the glass. There you go. If you can zoom in on that, it's a little bit blurry.
This looks like Jesus in the background or something.
Yes, it looks like the wings of an angel, but it looks like a woman or a man with
so these lines are on the window,
hair.
But this is sort of a gown, with brown hair. It looks like. Are they facing away from us?
Maybe her face is turning to the left. Do you see a face? The outline of a face there? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
And that looks like hair for sure.
Yeah.
In some kind of a nightgown.
Is this stairs or something or no?
No, there's no stairs. If you go back to my sister's knees, you will see that inside is the floor. There, just follow it in. Go past her legs.
Yeah.
Now there are stairs going up, but not stairs going down. So you see that's like the ground floor.
Right. That's wild.
So that person's like half in the floor and half out of the floor. But I don't think that person's really there because we didn't really see anybody walking around in a white nightgown. But my daughter played me, what's his name? Is there someone named Shane too, who's like for kids on YouTube with 15 million followers? Is his name Shane?
Yeah, there is a Shane on YouTube.
Yeah. He went to the Stanley. And then he was showing how in this part of the building, there's the silhouette ghost. It's a girl on the stairs who you can only see the side of her face. You can never see her full on.
So this could be why she's short then. This could be like a girl. Because that would explain why there's not any stairs down, but if she's shorter. Because that's just strange. I mean, who would even be dressed like that in there? If that was like, if they're just looking through the window. That would be an odd.
Oh, it's very angelic looking. It's like the back of an angel, Yeah. But there is a known ghost of a girl who only shows her profile. She only shows her silhouette in that room. In that room on those stairs going up.
That's wild. It almost looks like there's like
Google, you'll see her. What's that?
Like you're seeing the face, but it's like interference on it, like it's shimmying or something.
Yep.
Like stretched or something. That's weird.
Yep. It is. It's really, really strange. So
that's a high resolution picture to be able to zoom in like that.
Awesome. It is. It is a high resolution picture.
Okay.
Okay, so now this one, you can see the chandelier glimmering in the window above. But if you go to the downstairs window, you can see the flash kind of going off the picture. But go to that window. There's kind of a bell orb, and it's over the wood. So you've got to realize that the glass is there, but the wood is in front of the glass on the inside. You can see it. You can see it's beveled in the inside.
Yeah.
Now, look at those drips. Those are supposed to be rods because apparently they're all over the internet. People, when they do ghost pictures, they get rods.
So this is the flash, but these are these rod drip things you're talking about here.
Yeah, and they appear to be moving up. Remember the last ones were moving down in the shape of a J?
Yeah.
Well, here the blobs are at the bottom and they're moving up.
That's wild.
You even get them up there, a little bit in the wood.
Yeah. That's wild.
Isn't it? I'm not sure about that bell shape. Go down. That could be my camera flash. But it's in the shape of a bell, and it's in front of the wood. Why would my camera flash?
Oops, it's frozen here. Hold on a second.
Oh, is it? Why would my camera flash on the wood?
Oh, it went black on me.
I'm no expert, guys. All I can tell you is 1,000 pictures in my phone. None of them have ghosty worms on them. Not a single one, unless I'm in the Stanley. Really? Thank God, you know?
That's just a funny thought, ghosty worms.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I had no idea. There's pictures of them all over the internet. Apparently, if I was an experienced ghost hunter, I would have been used to them.
Oh, this one down here too.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is the flash.
Now, look at the bell. Look at the bell. That's over the wood? Why? You can see it's from my flash. But why would it flash in that shape over the wood?
Yeah, that's strange.
Wouldn't the wood prevent the flash, so I'd have a little flash below the wood?
Yeah,
instead of over it?
Yeah, the wood definitely wouldn't be just as shiny as the as the glass.
It makes the light look like it's in front of the window. And it's in a bell shape.
That is wild.
Or a gown shape, again, like that angel. It's like the angel.
All right, let's see what we have. Let's see.
Now this one was the best one. I didn't bring all of them. We even got one that looks like a little dragonfly on the ground that is so cute, but it didn't come out when I sent it as well on the email because it was so small.
Oh, a dragonfly?
So, yeah, dragonfly on the ground. So if you go to the table right there, that little green dot, zoom in on the table on the right.
Oh, right
and
here.
Follow that green. Yep. Just keep going. There you go.
Zoom in.
That's like a little. It's like a little ghosty inchworm.
Yeah. That's wild.
And I don't have any of these on my regular pictures that you take for Christmas, birthdays, in your house, and friends' houses. I don't get this. I don't get this. I got a lot of green. A lot of green. Loving? I hope so. Does that mean that the ghost was loving and we're seeing the ghost's heart chakra?
Oh, no.
That's a scary picture, too.
Not again.
That's a man sitting behind me, and we picked him up in the mirror.
That's pretty spooky.
Not as scary as the other two, you know,
no,
but still
but it almost looked like a reptilian slit.
I don't know. He's definitely looking at me take the picture, right?
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Now, remember, we're just shooting things blindly because we can't see these things with the naked eye. Is this the still shot? Okay, so zoom in over the chair. Okay. Now, those lights up there in the room, there's a bookcase back there. So my flash could be creating that light way right up in that room. Yeah, we'll just ignore that. But look above the chair. There's a circle of photons, green and white.
Let me scroll down.
There we go. There we go. Now, they're not alone. There's like a circle around the chair. See? And some of that light is on the leather. I believe the chair was a leather chair.
Mm-hmm. And
there's none of this is on my lens. These are not on my lenses, or they would have turned up on every picture.
That's wild.
And you can see the kind of and I caught them on video.
Now that's
definitely a reflection. Yeah.
Okay.
So just those.
This is the video. I caught
them on video. Yeah. And the video walks straight, but those lights go in a circle. They go like this. There we go. You can see them, right?
Yeah. Now they're gone, right? Let me go.
I walked right through it. I don't know. See them? See them moving? I'm catching them move together. So it's like one energy creating 5 or 6 lights. And they're gone. I just kind of looked in this room.
Oh, I saw an orb right there.
Where?
Just as we went into
yes,
the room.
Right as you go through the door that goes.
Right there. Yep.
Yep.
Wow. That's cool.
Really, really old room. That room did not have a nice feeling to it. It's
I just saw something else sparkle over there.
That just felt off.
Yep, something sparkles on the ceiling right over here.
Oh, I saw that. Yep.
It's amazing how much you miss while you're filming it live.
We had more. We had an orb right next to my sister. We had
a lot of activity there, huh?
Oh my gosh, the activity.
Okay.
But see if you can zoom in on the sparkles.
I can on the video, but I can't on the... Yeah, I don't think I can. Yeah, I've got it full screen right now. That's as big as it'll go. But let me show you the beginning again. So there, yeah, you can see them moving as I scrub through it. Sort of going in a circle.
It's moving in a circle. I'm going straight. I'm walking straight.
And then here's regular speed again.
And then I saw these circles in front of my camera.
Gosh, I can sure see you.
And it moves. It moves off the chair.
I'll close the door.
And then it's gone.
I am hearing a female voice. Anyone else?
That's me.
Not Eileen, it says.
Ooh, I hope it's me. I know I'm talking going, hi, I can see you. Because I saw the sparkles moving.
Oh, really? Gosh, I'm not wearing the headphones where the sound will be coming through. Sorry if the...
That should be me, guys. And I'm whispering because it's really late at night and I don't want to wake anybody up. I'm like, I see you.
I think I never did have the headphones on, so I didn't even know it had sound. So I apologize because my headphones are in another computer right now. So.
Oh, okay, because I can't hear it either. I can't hear anything.
Yeah, I can only hear you. Okay, so was that the last one? I don't think it was.
There's more. We have more, but I just gave you a little sample of some of them.
Okay, that is all I have that you sent me then, right?
Okay. So I think the strongest image is the ghosty worm, the inchworm on the table, but then those dripping ones by the stairs are quite strong.
Mm-hmm.
And then
yeah, and that's the one with the creepy guy in the background as a bonus.
Yeah. Ooh. But you know what? Outside of that one room, I didn't have a negative vibe. I didn't feel anything negative anywhere except for that one room. I did not like the feel of that one room.
There's our friends again.
Yeah.
One more
Lynne
time.
Blair on the right.
Oh, wow. All right. So thank you guys for sticking around.
Yeah. Thanks for sticking around to see my ghosties.
Yeah, it was that was a little taxing on the system, but I'm glad I hope it came through.
I think so. I could see it pretty good, actually, considering that I took it on the phone and then I emailed it to you. So we're going to lose some resolution, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's a lot of automatic compression and stuff that happens these days.
Yeah, especially the video, because it said it had to compress the video because it was too big. It was too much data to send via email.
Yeah, I have a Samsung Galaxy 6, and those Galaxy phones have really, really nice cameras on them. I mean, you can go into the settings. I don't know if you play with your settings or not, but you can go in there and really put it in pro mode and adjust. That's how I do the shots of like the moon. And well, you'll see it, but you saw the past ones. I'm able to adjust the shutter speed, and I've gotten some really cool images at night, just of the stars with no flash or anything, you know.
Oh,
you have the flash on, but you can leave the shutter open for like 2 seconds and really capture stars you can't even see with your naked eye. So it's
that's cool. No,
yeah.
I haven't experimented with it. I just held my camera and took pictures all through the hotel. Then the next day we examined them and we're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then my sister goes, oh, those are rods. And I'm like, what's a rod? And then she showed me, you go on Google or DuckDuckGo and you search ghost rods. And then all these images like that come up where little photons are moving while you take the picture. That's a fast movement, Shane, right? Like how long is a normal picture take?
Yeah, it's just like 1/10 of a second or something. Yeah, just a fraction of a second. So
that's a lot of movement getting caught in that. It's going pretty fast.
Yeah, that's amazing. I want to shout out to everybody in the chat.
Hey guys,
check 1 2. Okay,
I'll go back and read the chat later.
Okay, and we'll definitely hook up again next week and continue on, and I'm glad to have you back.
Thank you. It's good to be back. Thanks, guys.
Well, lots of love to everybody in the chat, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a good one. Peace.
Mwah. Bye.
Mwah. Bye.